Hello and welcome to Stage Matters, the podcast that gets right into the heart of what happens when artists take the stage. I'm your host, Aravind SA, and it's great to have you with me. On this podcast, we are cutting through the noise to understand the true essence of what makes a performance soar, what challenges performers face, and how they consistently deliver those transcendent moments. I'll be chatting with amazing artists and performers, from seasoned veterans to rising stars, to hear their stories directly. We'll discuss the highs, the lows, the techniques, and the mindset that defines their approach to performance. If you ever wondered what it truly feels like to command a stage or what goes into those breathtaking artistic moments, you're in the right place. Let's pull back the curtain and dive into Stage Matters. My next guest absolutely needs no introduction. He's Chennai's very own stand-up comedy sensation, Aravind SA. Welcome to Stage Matters. Thank you for taking the time.
Jubs. What a wonderful afternoon this is, and I'm been looking forward to this, and been looking forward to actually come to the studio and check the space out, and looks damn cool. And
Thank you. So, stand-up comedy is not a thing which would have been on your radar when you were a kid. Because like for me, as I'm coming from my background as a musician, there was all, like even though like none of our parents thought we'll become professionals, there was always people playing music. And there was like in school you'll have somebody guitar, piano or something. But like, so how did you become a comic?
Definitely accidental. Definitely not something I planned on pursuing at any stage in my career. Even after picking it up as a career option, I was not planning on pursuing it at all. I was purely holding on to it for dear life. So to ask how did I pick it up, I have to explain how the accident actually happened or what led to the accident. Sorry, I can only... You're okay with the long answer, no?
Go for it.
Then okay, I will. I love giving exhaustive...
The stage is yours.
Exhaustive answers. Fundamentally, I feel people ask one question about stand-up comedians about whether, hey, were you the funniest, were you the wittiest, were you the most talented one in school who will go on stage for everything and who will pick up the mic for all the cultural events. No, I wasn't that, and I don't think you need to be any of that to actually become a comedian. I feel I was the one who was the most desperate and the most insecure and the most needy when it comes to wanting to be heard. So those are all traits that are far more important than funniness and wittiness and confidence. That desperation, that neediness for being heard, because those only make you feel go that extra mile with everything that you're trying to do, and because you feel internally very disturbed about the situation, you feel very uncomfortable the whole situation. So I feel those are all the things that led to me also finding my own stand-up voice, which made me realize, oh, this voice makes sense because it's attuned to my personality, which is continuously perennially anxious and perennially dissatisfied. Those things led to the voice sounding a certain way. Like that's why I feel like a super confident, witty, funny person can probably write a joke or two, but to build a career continuously on that, you really need to have something that's so innately you about moaning and groaning or polemifying and ranting. Those sort of things which I feel I had a lot more, which led to accidentally me doing stand-up.
Okay. So do you remember when your first time on stage was, and was it in stand-up or was it in something else?
First time in stage in life?
Yeah.
Oh, like that. Oh, of course, definitely not at all stand-up. I've had plenty of exposure on stage in life because I was always interested in participating in dramatics. But that definitely was the rite of passage to get on stage, because right from playing the Christmas tree in a room for one Christmas carol type play that we had in kindergarten, towards playing Sudama's fourth son in a random play about Sudama, where I don't even know why he needed four sons. If the fourth son has no dialogue, nothing. I've been such placeholders in so many situations where when I went to those plays, the hope was you will get something meaty and meaningful. But of course, overall, I feel life has worked out in a way where clearly there are multiple reasons why they don't pick you, right? And because all my classmates, we all went together to the English play or the Sanskrit play. But then for some reason, they kept picking the guy who eventually became the school pupil leader or the cultural secretary, or, they saw those patterns because those kids were probably a lot more confident or a lot more, better with their skills had developed a lot better than mine. And I was obviously a bag of nerves and things like that. So I feel those sort of, let's call it for the lack of better word, setbacks definitely play a role. Anyways, to answer your question, that was my first experience, dramatics in kindergarten. I was always on stage for school day, as they call it, wherein you have to perform something. I was always there, but never performed anything meaningful or substantial or meaty. Always the ancillary role somewhere. Yeah.
So what gave you the inspiration that, okay, stand up, I can do this?
No, nothing. Nobody gave me the inspiration. It was actually my best friend Bhargav, who I often quote in my shows. He was the inspiring person behind it, who saw this quality in me that he was continuously attending to as a nurturing friend. This quality of, oh my God, this guy can come every day with a new thing to moan about. With a new thing to whine about, and every time something happens to him, in his head, it happens in such a heightened sense of emotions, and the way he recalls it is incredibly dramatic. And he saw that as a talent. I didn't see that. I saw that as a bane, right? He saw that as a talent, and that is the difference, right? That's the beautiful thing when. And God sends the right people at the right time and points you towards this. Like, no way I would have thought this is a talent. But in hindsight today, when I look back at my last 2 decades, oh wow, I'm so glad I had people like that who could think outside the box, because he was working for a theatre group in Chennai then called Evam. And he was working for them, and he was the one who started the vertical in Evam, the theatre group, the vertical of stand-up comedy. More than stand-up comedy, they called it initially funny monologues. So then they were looking to identify unconventional talents for funny monologues in Chennai. So obviously, natural thing to do is go for actors and ask them to find writers to write scripts for them, because actors can't write scripts but can perform funny monologues really well. Whereas in my case, I could. So he saw me as a thing of, he's neither a writer nor an actor nor a performer, but he can do all of it. He's none of it set in stone. It's a work in progress across all. But the unique thing about me that he could spot then and trick me to come and join the company of Evam to do this as a part-time gig was the ability to see that, hey, your rants are incredibly funny. Now let's make that a core competency, is what he did.
Okay, great. Every artist needs a good producer.
Pretty much.
So now you've come a long way from those days at Evam, and now you're world famous, traveling the world and doing big, like 5,000, 10,000 people shows, I guess.
No. Cumulatively maybe, but at 5,000, 10,000 level, I haven't
India, there were at least the Chennai Trade Center, the show I came, had 5,000 people easily.
No, that looks like that. It had only about 2,000 people.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'm not that big and all, but yeah, let me put it this way. I travel all across to perform to a sizable audience that makes this sustainable living. Like somewhere between 500 to 1,000.
No, this is brilliant. So I want to ask you, how was your understanding of the live performance evolved from the time when you started to now?
Oh, nobody's asked a question like that, so I've never ever paid attention to this part of life.
You would have had one idea of what it is to go and do it on stage, like the first time you did.
From the school drama,
From the school drama, or from your first stand-up act itself?
So what has been there?
What has changed? What has not
changed, Sulidhar? That's easy. Trepidation, anxiety and stage fear has not changed to date.
Okay.
There is incredible... so I've had it all through my school dramatics. I had problems remembering lines when I acted in English theatre and all in school and college. So therefore, I'll never get the good roles because I had to read. To memorize was really hard for me. I couldn't do it properly enough. Which is quite funny today, because today all I do is memorize and repeat 70 pages of material for every show, right? So that's strange. I don't know how things work out that way. But so what has not changed is the trepidation, the anxiety, the stage fear. But what has changed is all of that is there. Earlier it used to be there throughout the course of the performance. Now that I've built a community for myself where you start realizing that it's a win-win scenario. It's no longer because in dramatics or college or all those things, it's not necessarily a win-win. You might be performing Shakespeare to a rowdy college crowd who don't give a toss about Shakespearean play, and that
we don't have language restrictions.
Oh, okay. So then they might completely throw you off. They might boo you or whatever. So that is where your true metal as a performer is tested, because oh my God, I have a rowdy crowd who are not. There's an active dissonance with what I'm trying to relay. How do I still hold my own and see it through? Now in stand-up, once I got an audience for myself, all these things were out of the window. People were coming to see me. So the trepidation only lasted for the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Okay.
Once you get that first few minutes of laugh or high points or crescendos in the audience's laugh, you feel like a symphony orchestra. Maria. Okay, now it's picked up. Then you fly. Now what has changed, I realize, is so the trepidation is still there, because it's almost like one trauma response. Like when before going, if I'm in the wings, I'm hearing them cheer, or I'm hearing my name being called out, or in fact, from the wings I observe people's chatter. Sometimes I even go stand with a hoodie near the doors to see what are they saying when they're walking in. Some random anything because I can't rehearse before a show. Like you mentally, you're not thinking lines because you're so hyped up. So at least I'd rather go and do some weird things like this. But all that nervous energy changes. That 5 minutes or 10 minute mark, somewhere you'll hit the rhythm where your fear will convert into momentum. Fear will convert into force. Andamari, you'll start feeling that or something pushing you through. No, that has changed over a period of time, because then sometimes I become possessed. I feel like, okay, I got the lines, I got the audience. Let me see how I can express this differently today. That is when you go into a trance state and all. By that I mean, it's the same set of lines that you have rehearsed.
In the zone மாதிரி.
Zone இப்போ இந்த zone-குள்ளேயே என்ன நுணுக்கங்கள் கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியும். The zone-குள்ள what are the different ways in which I can express myself today. And anyways, I record the audio of every show I do with my mobile phone on that bar stool that I keep on stage. So that is a documentation that I revisit the next day, because it helps with my obsessive nature of listening to the same audio clip again.
So you listen to your show
show again, every show I listen to it. I never get tired, because I'm very obsessive about, okay, Chicagoல பண்ண இந்த ஷோல ஃபுல் இதையும் கேட்டுட்டு எப்படி ஒரு வாக் போயிட்டே கேட்பேன். ஸோ தட் வே மல்டி டாஸ்கிங். ஸோ லிட்ரலி வாக் போயிட்டு போது கேட்டுட்டே இருப்பேன். அது சப்கான்ஷியஸ்லி ஐ கீப் மேக்கிங் நோட்ஸ் ஆன், ஓகே இந்த செக்ஷன் ஒர்க் திஸ் வே, பட் இட்ஸ் ஆல்சோ ஒர்க் ஹியர் பிகாஸ் இட்ஸ் இந்த ஊரில் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ரொஃபைல் க்ரௌட் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ தட் டசன்ட் மீன் கோயம்புத்தூரில் அது ஒர்க் ஆகணும் அவசியம் இல்லை. ஸோ யூ ஹேவ் டு மேக் சச் ப்ரொஃபைலிங் அண்ட் திஸ் டேட்டா பாயிண்ட்ஸ் ஐ கீப் monitoring down in my script also. So I keep these are ways in which I feel like I'm just subconsciously opening myself up to more iterations, because if the iterative part of this stops, there's no fun in doing this for me. The iterative obsessive part of it irukra varaikum, even though the repetitive part of it doesn't get repetitive at all for me, because it's an opportunity to do a new iteration. Even if it's a 1% change, I enjoy that 1% obsession.
It's like very fascinating. You're the first stand-up comic I'm talking to, interviewing, so I'm also winging the questions.
Please. Yeah, very few actually listen to their own thing like that. I've spoken to many colleagues. They're like, I don't want to listen to it again.
Like, I can't listen to anything that I play after a show, and please spare me. I want to go and
I have to. Enakku and customer, when I listen to it the next day, first 5-10 minutes I want to run away. I want to throw the headphones. I'm like, nalla illa varka illa. Then suddenly you'll be like, it's a typical process. It's like run, then there's no running, sit. Then you're like, okay, calm. It's not as bad as you think. It's the whole typical process. Okay, now it's actually not bad at all. Hey, you're good. Oh, wow. From self-loathing to self-love will happen in that 60-70 minutes of hearing that audio clip. But it's invariably been a process that works great for me, because I mean, that's it's a hack, and it works for me, and I don't involve anybody in this process. So therefore, who's suffering? Only me. I don't care. I can put myself through that. Imagine if I have to sit and listen to the audio clip again with a team of writers. அவங்களுக்கு தான் டேய் அப்பா நேத்திக்கு தான் ஷோவை பார்த்தோம், இன்னைக்கு திருப்பி அதோட ஆடியோவை பார்க்க சொல்றான் இவன் திருப்பி. So I don't do that to others. I do it to myself.
So can you take me through your preparation process? Let's say a long-term preparation, as well as like on the eve of a show or on the day of a show.
Long-term preparation, what do you mean?
Like not long-term. Okay, like suppose you have shows coming in a week, and also on the day of the show.
Okay. Context is very important. If I'm already performing...
Okay, I'm assuming the material and all is ready. And
the material is ready.
Yeah.
Context of what flow state am I in? By that I mean, if I'm actively touring with that material for a while, then if I have a show coming in the week, and if I have performed in the last 4 weeks, even once or twice in the weekend, every 4 weekends, I'm good.
Yeah.
Mentally I'm good.
Yeah.
But irrespective of that, I always use the week to do the lines in parts. Sometimes I'll feel like doing the lines fully, like in one day I can finish. Then the rest of the week is holiday for me. By that I mean Monday or Tuesday when a full script ஒரு தடவை பண்ணி முடிச்சு சேஞ்சஸ் பண்ண வேண்டியதெல்லாம் போய் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணி ஏன்னா இப்போ ஒரு சேஞ்ச் பண்ணுறேன்னா I have to reincorporate the change at the script level, then at a performance level, then at a focus group level. 3 levels of changes, I mean, I have to do that for it to get hard-coded.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's how it is. It might seem all spontaneous to people. Everything is hard-coded.
Yeah.
So, like, there are comedians who do it spontaneously. Even if a change, they'll just tell it, okay, next time, from the mind, operate. Zakir Khan is like that. Enala mind le onnume panna mudiyadhu. So, if in the week building up to that show, if there are some changes that I had thought of from the previous 4 weekends that I have done, and from the audios of those shows that I listened to and I made notes, I will sit down and write those changes instead of just thinking of it.
Okay.
Then those written changes has to be, that writing will take some time. It won't just automatically come.
Okay.
It has to be some back and forth thing you might do. The next day I will written part, I will deliver it.
Okay. To your focus group?
To myself, no, in front of mirror, to myself. I have to sound, it has to sound right, it has to do back and forth. And then do it to a focus group to confirm it. Then once it's confirmed, my instincts and the focus group's feedback is also confirmed. Then I also do this thing of, now I have to do the whole section from before and after, because the segues and transition has to be good. Because sometimes if you isolate that new portion and only do it, but then in the bigger flow of that show, just because you isolated that new portion, you easily miss out on that inserting it.
Yeah.
Because it's a 90-minute show, out of which you have written 2 new minutes.
Yeah.
And it's sandwiched in the 37th minute, for example.
Yeah.
Just rehearsing those 2 new minutes isolated won't work.
Yeah,
so what I'll do is, so Monday is writing it, Tuesday is focus group testing that separately, Wednesday will be sandwiching it with the bigger material and rehearsing it from T minus 20 minutes and T minus plus 20 minutes. You get what I mean? Those 2 minutes segment முன்னையும் பின்னையும் இருக்கிற 20 நிமிஷத்தோட பண்ணுவேன். அப்பதான் பிரெயினுக்கு அந்த ஃபுல் ஃப்ளோல அது இன்கார்பரேட் ஆகி நார்மலைஸ் ஆயிருக்கும். எனக்கு அப்பதான் செட் ஆகும்.
ஓகே.
இல்லாட்டி மறந்துடுவோம். ஏன்னா அவ்வளோ டேட்டா பாயிண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு, அவ்வளோ பாயிண்டர்ஸ் இருக்கு, இந்த புது ஜோக் ட்ரை பண்ண மறந்துடுவோமே. அப்புறமா அது முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறமா பை ஃப்ரைடே ஐ வில் டூ த ஹோல் ஷோ. And now I will want to see if my brain remembers that 2 minutes part that I added.
Okay.
And then Saturday I go deliver.
Okay, this is like pretty intense.
Sometimes. Okay. But there will be times where if I do a US tour, where I'm doing a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday shows. இப்படி போய்கிட்டே இருக்கு வாரம் Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday ஒரு 3 weeks போகிறதுனா அப்போ எனக்கு இந்த அளவு I don't even look at iterative things because I'm fatigued then. எனக்கு மண்டே டியூஸ்டே வென்ஸ்டே மட்டும் தான் பிரேக்கு. ஸோ அந்த 3 நாள் என்னை விட்டுருங்கடான்னு ஷோ பற்றி. ஏன்னா எனக்கு டேப் ரெக்கார்டர் மாதிரி மார்னிங் எழுந்து என்ன ப்ளே பட்டன் நம்பிக்கிறீங்கன்னா கூட நீங்கள் ஸ்கிரிப்ட் ஆரம்பிச்சோன்னா எப்பா. ஸோ you're so wound up, right? So those when you're in that zone, I'm not really looking to iterate much or worried about lines remembering much because I'm in a zone. So I know whatever you give me, I just need to write a simple bullet point on my phone and look at it before getting on stage because I'm so on top of my game. But then post a US tour, you come back to India 1 month, you're not doing any shows, you've taken a break, then you do an odd weekend or here or there, you'll forget. Which is why I have to do an intense week to work myself up to that level again.
Okay.
The workload intensity koranjichna, you have to recreate it. Even if in US I don't have to recreate it, I have work, actual work. Whereas if I'm in Chennai waiting for a show in the Sunday in Music Academy, but the whole week I'm doing nothing and the last 1 month I've been dormant because I need a break. Suddenly you're not going to work yourself. That intensity, it's like gym. You can't go straight and lift 150 kilos of deadlift. You phase yourself through it. That's how you have to do it here. At least for me.
Okay. Brilliant. So what about the day of the show or the day before the show? Do you have like things that you don't eat or drink or?
Oh, yeah. So,
physical processes.
So on the day of the show, I'm generally over anxious. Therefore, acidity plays a big role for those who are also dealing with anxiety. So that doesn't help at all, acidity. So therefore, acidity avoid பண்றதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணுமோ I do on just show day, which effectively means, so when you're touring and you're on your own, and if I don't have friends' houses that I'm staying with wherever I go, then I don't. One of the perils of that, because when you're traveling outside Chennai and any ஊர் போனால் ஹோட்டல்லாம் போட்டாங்கன்னா, எனக்கு ஹோட்டலில் இருக்க பிடிக்காது. எனக்கு ஃப்ரெண்டு வீட்டில் தங்கிட்டு போக பிடிக்கும். ஏன்னா எனக்கு அந்த வீட்டிலேருந்து போகிற ஒரு ஃபீலிங் இருக்கணும். எனக்கு எவ்ரிவேர் ஐ கோ எனக்கு அந்த ஒரு பட் தென் ஃப்ரெண்டு வீட்டிலேருந்து தங்கிட்டு போனால் அட்வான்டேஜஸ் மார்னிங் எழுதுனே எதாவது இருக்கும். எனக்கு அந்த ஃபீலிங் ஆஃப் எதா இருக்கும் இல்லை, அங்கே போயிட்டு ஒரு காஃபி அவங்களோட பேசிக்கிட்டே எனக்கு அப்போ சாப்பாடு இறங்கிடும். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், இஃப் ஐம் பை மை செல்ஃப் இன் ஹோட்டல், ஐ ஜஸ்ட் டோன்ட் லைக் கெட்டிங் அப் அண்ட் கோயிங் டு த புஃபே அண்ட் புட்டிங் சம். ஐ எம் வெரி I don't treat my body well enough. At least used to. Now old age has humbled me. So before any master health checkup shows up any red flags, I myself go and stuff the meals at the right time, just to ensure acidity doesn't happen.
Okay.
But a lot of my show day prep comes down to just ensuring you're in a good headspace. The good headspace comes from how prepared I feel. If I'm super prepared, then I'm happy socializing with whoever I'm staying with, or I go explore the city in the day and just go to the venue casually in the evening because I know the lines. If I'm underprepared, I isolate everyone out. I tell them nobody come near me, just give me the reporting time and tell me and tell my team what to do, so that when I come, I tell them I will come only half an hour before the doors open, which means I'll give you half an hour to take me through the rehearsals and the tech checks and all that. Why? Because I need every bit of the time in the day to make up for my under preparation. புரியுதுங்களா? Like if I'm super over prepared, then I'll tell my team I'll come 4 hours before doors open. நம்ம casually tech check பண்ணிக்கலாம், chill பண்ணிக்கலாம் guys. So it comes down to the mind space of how under prepared or over prepared you feel. So that dictates how well you eat, or how badly you eat. Because when you're angry about being underprepared, you don't feel like eating. I tend to punish myself, saying அந்த கோவத்திலே I'm like, உனக்கு சாப்பாடு இன்னும் ரிஹர்சல் நீ பண்ணல, you've been screwing around for the whole week. அந்த மாதிரி you get into that zone of you're not done. So அப்போ சாப்பிடாட்டி அசிடிட்டின்னு வரும். அசிடிட்டி வந்தால் ரிஹர்சல் இன்னும் ரெஸ்ட்லெஸ்ஸாக இருக்கும். ஸோ ஷோ போது இன்னும் இதாகும். அஃப்கோர்ஸ் தீஸ் ஆர் ஆல் த ஓல்ட். See, I've been doing this regularly from 25 to 35 now. This is how I behaved from the 25 to 30. No, the post 35 the life humbles you in a way where you really can't fuck around with your body anymore. So now definitely on show day I'm very mindful about eating the right things, eating the right time, reacting to body's stress levels, and hydrating a lot. Hydration is super important because my throat gets dried. So I have to ensure I'm over hydrating and over peeing and all of that, just to ensure that okay, everything is good. நான் எனக்கு ஸ்டேஜில் எதுவுமே thankfully nothing has ever happened from a point of view of scary on stage. If I look back at it, I've done maybe 1,000 shows, but no, இது வரைக்கும் nothing.
So you talked about tech check. We do sound checks, like it's a part and parcel of what a musician's life is. But correct. I have no idea about what a sound check or a tech check for a stand-up comedian involves. Can you
Yeah, so see, again, it comes down to how easy or how you approach your craft. There are many comedians who are happy to just be like, put on mic, put on spotlight, announce my name, put some random hyper music. You choose whatever music, I don't care. I will come. From there, I will take it. If அதாவது அந்த மாதிரி கமெடியன்ஸ் மென்டாலிட்டி எப்படின்னா, நீ என்ன ஒரு குடிசையில் போட்டு ஒரு வென்யூ கொடுத்தா கூட உன்னோட எல்லா ட்ராபேக்ஸையும் என் காமெடி ஓவர் கம் பண்ணிடும். நீ என்னை குடிசையில் போட்டு மைக் ஸ்டாண்ட் கூட கொடுக்காம என்னை வாயால் அப்புறம் சொல்லலாம், நான் ஸ்டேஜில் ஏறினோன்னே ஸோ அதை தவிர நான் இதை பற்றியும் கவலைப்பட மாட்டேன். அவங்களாம் அதான் சொன்னேன். There are some comedians who come from my type of background, which is insecurity, anxiety, neediness when it comes to being heard, etc. There are some comedians who come from super uber confident background, saying wit, skill, genius in writing. அவனுங்களாம் இந்த மாதிரி என்னை எந்த இடத்துல எப்படி வேணா போட்டு நான் பார்த்துக்கிறேன்டா. நான்லாம் எப்படின்னா, ஐயோ
சூப்பர் ப்ரிப்பரேஷன்,
எனக்கு ப்ரிப்பரேஷன், என் கூட இருக்க ஒர்க் பண்ணலாம் செத்தானுங்க. அதனாலே ஐயோ இவன் இன்செக்யூரிட்டினால நம்மளை 10 மடங்கு எக்ஸ்ட்ரா வேலை வாங்குறான்டா இவன் பாருது. ஸோ அதனால எப்படி ஆகும், ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், I don't like to just walk up on a show and be like, yeah, I'm here, they've come to see my face, I am the brand, I am the they will overlook anything. No. For me, I don't know, it's a good thing only, I feel. I'm involved in the show experience end to end as an entrepreneur, not as a performing artist. By that I mean, if I'm obsessing about my lines and my preparation of those lines and all of the readiness and all of that from a pure artist point of view, on the other side, in the week that's a build up, I'm also obsessing about my team's back end preparation for it. Right from, say, the on-ground productions team enna pananum, like what is the ticketing, what are we doing, ensuring that ease of ticketing and all of that is happening, and what are any experience are we creating with respect to inside the venue experiences, post show how are we curating the meet and greet if at all there is any. Idella vandittu at a surface level fan experience point of view. Now show experience segments irukku, which is the tech part, which is I am very particular about, hey, when the doors open, this is the song I want to be playing from T minus 45 minutes to T minus 15. This is the lighting setting for that when they are coming in. And this is what the visuals on the LED wall should be going in that section. Then when it's 15 minutes to go, this is what the voiceover should say. Then we pre-program that voiceover saying, ladies and gentlemen, it's 10 minutes to go. Here are some do's and don'ts. And then this is what the LED wall should then start showing for the last 5-10 minutes. And these are the set of songs that we should be curing because the tempo has to go. I literally T minus 2 kuda I create a medley of songs, the medley of with the pre-program announcement and a lighting change according. So there's a light change, there's a sound change, there's an LED wall change, and all of this there's a blueprint. Now this blueprint I will have to ensure with my team that I have to liaison with the on-ground teams that are there in every venue, because I don't take my team with me to every show. So I have a core team sitting in Chennai, but their job is to, hey, you know the venues where we are performing, I'll give you the contact. Reach out to those stakeholders in those venues. Find out who's coming on that day to provide LED support, who's coming on the day to light support, who's doing sound support. Get on Zoom calls with them. Tell them this is the show. So when I ensure those pre-production things happen, I don't sit on those calls. Initially, I had to, when they had to train them, now they know blueprint. Once you made a blueprint out of it, it's easy. So then what I tell is, please over prepare them. So when I go to that venue 3 hours before the show, though they already know the cues, they already know the language of our show. Because in some of my shows, I also have some stuff that is happening in the show. Like now entry point கொடுத்து வர வரைக்கும் மட்டும் இல்ல, சில ஜோக்ஸ்க்கு நான் லைட் கேக்ஸே இருக்கு. இப்போ நீங்க அந்த மீனி டாக்ல you might have seen the Dalabadi portion where me interviewing Mr. Maniratnam, and I recreated that Maniratnam's assistant directors confronting me about a fuck up I did in the interview when they came, and I wanted to recreate it with the Dalabadi in mind. So therefore we were like, he'll come close to my face, the assistant director, and I'll be like, he's going to slap me or something, and then he looks at me and he's like, yeah. There, and that is specifically recreated to attempt to joke about those Dalabadi lightings, high contrast, soft decibel, like and I'm like, Deva. That's my response, right? Now that joke segment, we lit it up in the lighting changes from what it was for the actual show lighting. We make one contrast top light in a very conical structure about it. So stuff like that needs preparation, because not all venues will have it. So your tech rider, you'll have to send it. Now if on the venue then I have to take an entrepreneurial call on, do I go ahead with this venue despite it not having the light support, but it working out economically much viable to me? Because there might be some other venue that gives me the light support that I need. But the venue cost will be so much that I'll be losing on the margin. So it's a trade-off that I can only take that call. As an entrepreneur and an artist who knows the product, who knows the crowd, what is the trade-off? Suma பயங்கரமா highly produced show கொடுத்துட்டு ₹1 கூட பண்ணலனா யாருக்குங்க பிரயோஜனம்? So these sort of calls are there. So anyways, therefore it's a very invested process in the pre-production stage, and it involves alignment between multiple stakeholders, and I'm obviously overseeing all of it while also doing my content individually.
Okay, brilliant. You spoke in great length about preparation and your intensity of preparation. I want to ask you, like, what role does improvisation play in your...
So improvisation, it's a big, I would say, Achilles heel is improvisation, because see, I love people who improvise. Improv is a form of art form that I've tried a few times in my tour, like this New York போகும்போது, Seattle போகும்போது, improv workshops லாம் சும்மா போவேன். அங்கெல்லாம் ரொம்ப கைண்டா இருக்கும் அந்த வேர்ல்டு. And it's scary because improv is exactly the opposite of what I do. Improvisation is the opposite of what I do. I improvise while creating. By that I mean, when I'm creating this idea, I'm improvising randomly in my head. But I'm such a control freak that whatever improvisations I've done also, I try to narrow it down to this is the best iteration of those improvisation, and I'm narrowing that down, and only that.
So your performance is like
only that, yes. Because I have done the quality check process that I feel like can hold its good like our ISO mutra mari adu vandrum. Therefore I will never second guess it. So my improvisation all happens there.
Okay.
A lot of comedians don't do this like this because they are not this intense about it, or they are different mentality. They look at improvisation as the reason to even do the job. Why am I doing every week? Because every week I have a chance to improvise. And why does that excite me? Because improvising means something new, something learning. எனக்கு அவங்களெல்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது I'm like hats off to you. I love the confidence. I love the fact that you have gifts like that you can tap into so comfortably that you're getting on stage and then only realizing இன்னைக்கு தான் improvise பண்ணலாமே. I'm like உனக்கு அவ்வளோ கான்ஃபிடென்ஸா ஒரு விஷயத்தை ஃபோக்கஸ் குரூப் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணாமல் ஓவர் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணாமல் 8,000 தடவை ரிஹர்ஸ் பண்ணாமல் that's possible. In fact, I can also, in all honesty, probably do it given how much body of work I have today. My instincts probably are way sharper that I can, but my control freak nature would never let me do it. So therefore improvising for me happens more at the preparation stage. On the show day, improvisation would probably be 5% to 10%.
Okay, in your show that I saw like you were riffing off the crowd, and there was like, what was the name?
Deepika and Vashisht. Oh yeah. See, those also, funnily, even though I'm getting into the crowd to talk to them, you would be shocked to see how prepared I do that part. In the sense, I will write in my script, here we are entering into the crowd. Then I do a flow chart there.
Okay.
If it is a boy and they say this, we go here. If it is a girl and they say this, we go here. It's so... That's not, you're not supposed to do it. You're killing the joy of comedy.
No, it looks like, for the audience, it doesn't look like...
It doesn't...
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, like I say, it's my problem. It's a baggage I deal with. I wish moving forward I could do more shows where I'm like free out. ஓகே இவ்வளோதான்டா ஹியூமர், வா இம்ப்ரவைஸ் பண்ணி எங்கே போதோ பார்த்துக்கலாம். ஏன்னா இம்ப்ரவைஸ் பண்ணால் முதல்ல என்ன ஃப்ளாப் ஜோக் கூட எடுத்துக்க தெரியணும். Like in improvise, you will crack bad joke. But I am one of those people, I'm so hard on myself. If I crack a bad joke because of improvising, I will kill myself on stage and apologize to the audience for the mediocre product that I have delivered to you and charged you 2,500 rupees for it. நான் அங்கேயே verdict கொடுத்து முடிச்சிருவேன். Well, they would have been like, it was fine only, no? What is he talking about? So, therefore, I don't even want to put myself into that situation.
It's also because you're like very different from other people I've talked to, no?
Correct, but
mostly musicians.
But you
so
thought
I have, like, prepared things. No, it's total.
But you thought I'll be an improviser, but here I am telling you I'm a notes person. And you're like, அடப்பா இவனுக்காக நான் நோட்ஸ் எல்லாம் இல்லாம பண்ணுவேன், இவனை மாதிரியே ஃப்ரீ ஃப்ளோல பண்ணுவேன், இவனே நம்மளை விட ப்ரிப்பேர்டா இருக்கா.
So what is your relationship with the audience? How do you see them? Do you see them as like active participants, or are they just like passive observers of your show? Or
I more passive than active, because like I said, since I'm so prepared and over prepared and I go with a very specific zone in mind, I'm like நான் கேட்கும்போது மட்டும்தான் நீங்க பேசணும். So it's like it's like I'm very like Ilayaraja, like I'm very Raja sir, like decorum தெரியல உங்களுக்கு. Okay. So that is purely because when you're so intense about the framework you have built in your head for this show, anything that throws you off here and there, it pisses me on. And now I should work on this, because it's clearly anger issues there. Because sometimes I've shown it on stage where people tend to be smart asses in shows, especially in a comedy show.
Hecklers and stuff.
அது heckling கூட சொல்ல மாட்டேன்.
இந்தியால அவ்வளோ இல்ல
இருக்கு. See, heckling is when they have something aggressive to say back to you, where they have that level of courage or that level of indifference, or அந்த லெவலுக்கு ஒரு அந்த ஊர்ல ஒரு இது இருக்கு, குவாலிட்டியே இருக்கு. that இப்போ அமெரிக்காவில் இருக்க அந்த குவாலிட்டி, அது என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க, irreverence இருக்கிற இடத்துல யூ கேன் கால் தட் ஹெக்லிங். நம்ம ஊரில் பண்ணுறது பேர் irreverence இல்லை, நம்ம ஊரில் பண்ணுறது ஜஸ்ட் பியூர் அட்டென்ஷன் சீக்கிங் பிஹேவியர். புரியுதுங்களா? அதாவது இந்த ஸ்கூல்லலாம் டீச்சர்ஸ்க்கு நடுவில் கேப் விட்டாங்கன்னா, கிளாஸ்க்கு நடுவில் ஒரு 2 லைனுக்கு நடுவில் கேப் விட்டாங்கன்னா சம்திங் ஸ்மார்ட்டாக எவனா சொல்லி கிளாஸே அப்ளாஸ் வாங்க பார்க்குறது. இந்த தேட்டரில் ஏதாவது ஒரு மூமெண்ட்டில் டிப் ஆகும்போது எவனோ ஒருத்தர் ஸ்மார்ட்டாக சொல்லிட்டு அப்படின்னா அந்த எச்சத்தனம் பண்ணுறது தான் நம்ம ஊரில் ஐவ் சீன் மோர். இட்ஸ் நாட் ஹெக்லிங். So when people do, sometimes it's that, sometimes it's also you have people giving you honest responses for rhetorical questions that is part of my script. புரியுதுங்களா? Like, for example, in my script, I'm just saying, sometimes I wonder, is it even worth it in life? அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறேன் நான். ஒன்று அங்கேருந்து அவங்க யாரோ, no, not worth it அப்படின்னு டேய், I wasn't asking you டா. ஆனால் some lines hit them so well, they're so connected with you, and they feel so. See, that's one advantage and disadvantage. With me, I've seen people come and say, hey, yours doesn't feel like a show. Yours feels like I'm actually there with you in your life. I'm connecting. Like one of the best feedbacks I've gotten is, for We Need to Talk, as I said, it felt like I'm sitting in your living room and listening to you pour your heart out. Some of it is incredibly funny, some of it is incredibly touching. And it felt like that. Sollumbodhu, that's a super personal space to be able to access. So sometimes people may marandu poi react பண்ணுவாங்க லைன்ஸ்க்கு. I've had that. நான் அவங்களுக்குலாம் நான் ட்ரிகர் ஆக மாட்டேன். I just wish, I understand because they got carried away. Like நமக்கே இப்போ ஏதாவது ஒரு மியூசிக்கல் கான்சர்ட் போகிறோம், அந்த ஒரு ரிஃப் எங்கேயோ பயங்கரமாக போகும்போது ஒரு பாயிண்ட்ல we lose it and we start clapping, initiating that applause break or something like that. அது நடக்கிறது I can understand. But a lot of times also audience tend to get so excited because இருட் ரூம்ல இருக்கோம், எல்லாரும் ஒரு ஹைப்ல இருக்கோம், வா காமெடி ஷோ வேற, வா நம்மளும் ஜாலியாக திருப்பி கொடுக்கலாம். வேற they don't realize they திருப்பி கொடுக்காதடா, நான் உனக்கு கேட்கவே இல்லைடா, கேட்டால் மட்டும் பதில் சொல்றா, நான் ஒரு வாரமா ரிஹர்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு வந்திருக்கேன்டா, உனக்கு நல்லா பண்ணோன்னு உனக்கு புரிஞ்சுக்கூட. I am not someone who enjoys being thrown off and who can get back. They think அதானே ப்ரோ நான் சொன்னா நீ என்ன 10 ரூபாய் இன்னும் கேவலமா திட்டு அப்படின்னுவாங்க. எனக்கு உனக்கு கேவலமா திட்டுறது இல்லடா என் ஸ்கிரிப்ட். My core competency is not. There are some who enjoy that. Oh, you threw me off. Oh, wait to see me lay into you. There are people like that. Jimmy Carr will do that. But நான் அப்படி இல்லை. So therefore audience interaction is very, very low for me. It became much lower because I started writing far more script heavy stuff. Because when I do script heavy stuff, I'm just telling the audience, why do we need to interact? Just let me do my thing. You sit without your mobile phone, without your mind chattering, just immersive in கூட வா, அப்படியே போ, விட்டுரு. இந்த நடுவில் எதுக்கு இந்த தேவையில்லை? அதான், because I am so obsessed with my structure. Many comedians are happy. நடுவில் நீ தான் சொன்னியா, ஒரு செகண்ட் pause the script, what is that அப்படின்னு கேட்பாங்க. Come again. அப்புறம் when you make them say it loud, that itself will be the joke. It will be so inappropriate, so dumb or so irrelevant. இதை சொல்றதுக்கான நீ இப்போ என் ஃப்ளோ நிறுத்தினேன்னு. But I take it so personal. In terms of the anger I feel about it. I'm like, அதான் இளையராஜா, I'm very old school like that. I don't be like, இதை சொல்லவா, ஐயோ cutie, you should shut up அப்படிலாம். I can't do that. There are people who shut them up beautifully. Whereas I'm like, organizer, உன்னை வெளியில போடுங்க, உன்னை வெளியில போடுங்க, டிக்கெட்டை ரீஃபண்ட் பண்ணிடுங்க, அந்த மாதிரி இன்டெகிரிட்டியோட த்ரோ அவுட் பண்ணுவேன்.
Since you brought up organizer, assuming that, like, I guess you self-produce a lot of your shows, right? Everything. So you don't deal with organizers at all?
I do, but I don't deal with organizers who have bought me out. I deal with organizers who are partners with me.
Okay. And then
therefore, everything is collaborative, which means every decision we take, you and I are in on it together.
Then my question is not valid. We'll move on.
No, please tell me.
What would you expect from an organizer? Suppose
it's very valid.
Hiring you for a show.
Hiring me for a show விட partnering with me for a show நீங்க வேர்டை மாத்திக்கோங்களேன். Because hiring is, which is why I, as a control freak, I don't like to be hired. As a control freak, I am saying no, you can't hire me because I am bloody. அது ஒரு எச்சத்தனமான மென்டாலிட்டி தான். But it works for me. Let me hold to it. I'll keep my bubble with me. I'll live with it. ஏன் சொல்ல வரேன்னா, then you attract the right type of people only. When you are very black and white about this. As a control freak, I'm saying I'm not available to hire, which means money is not my
primary motive.
அப்போ let's see who you and I are. That filters out 95% of them. இவனை எவ்வளோ கொடுத்தா சார், அப்போ $5,000 சார், அப்போ 10 லட்சம் 20 லட்சம், எனக்கு 1 கோடி கொடுத்தாலும் நான் கொடுக்க மாட்டேன். நான் அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி இந்த பிரின்சிபல்ன்ற ஒரு இடம் பிடிச்சி தேவையில்லாத இடத்துலலாம் பிடிச்சிருக்கேன். ஆனால் நல்லதும் நடந்திருக்கு. பட் வாட் இட் டஸ் இஸ், so therefore when they no longer realize that money is not the thing, what I look for so you asked me what do I look for in an organizer. Instead of organizer, I said let's call it partner, a business partner. What I look for in a business partner then is, one, high integrity. Because I feel I have that a lot, which is why I prepare like this for every show. Why? In my head, இவ்வளோ காசு கொடுக்க சொல்கிறதே நான் தான். காசு கொடுத்து வராங்கன்னா நான் தான் அந்த டிக்கெட் விலையை நிர்ணயிக்கிறேன், இவ்வளோ இருக்கணும்ட்டு. ஏன்னா நான் அந்த வேல்யூ அதுக்கு அசோசியேட் பண்ணுறேன். ஏன்னா அப்போ தான் இது ஒரு எனக்கு ஐ ஹாவ் மை பிகஸ்ட் மோட்டிவேஷன் ஃபோர்ஸ் ஜப்ஸ் இன் லைஃப் இஸ் live performing arts has to be sustainable. Now people have to understand the value associated with it and start normalizing that value. And if that value can be normalized only by people like us who are say necessarily making big strides now, then we will start doing it by setting the bar that high. I tell all the people out there who are in the midway stage, don't play the short game by diluting yourself and giving it to them at a small level. Like I tell Keber himself that, for example, in the gig that I tell him, you are underselling yourself. You should do more. But I wish not all artists have that sort of an entrepreneurial nature to them, like say how I have. Keber is more of a very artist. He's not much into the entrepreneurial side for me. He's improving
into the game.
Yeah. But it's taken him so long. Like I've been like this from the day I got into this, where I'm making few hundred rupees a show. Yeah, so to answer a question on what I expect from my partners, therefore, is absolute integrity. By that I mean, therefore, integrity is where I over-prepare like this because I want to justify the premium value that I would like to associate arts with. And I want that to be normalized for the people out there, because we are growing up in a culture where art is not valued at all and art is completely overlooked. And how the hell will we ever change that? We have to change it by upping the ante in our own products, and not just upping the ante there, but also justifying the value that we are projecting ourselves. It's one thing to say, hey, nalla high vela vechu vaangada, innor pakka nee deliver pannala, what's the point? And the cognitive dissonance kandipa irukadha povudhu. So for then, the people who I align with have to see that value that I am associating with it. Okay. So then that means for them to see the value, they have to first have that integrity in the first place. They should also be appreciative of the fact that as a partner, business, as a show organizer in Australia or in USA, whatever, the fact that so many people are willing to come out on a weekend for an art show and pay this much, I am going to go and attend to every detail of that campaign with the same intensity and with the same integrity and the same intent on quality in deliverable. அந்த மாதிரி பார்ட்னர்ஸ் கிடைக்கிறது கஷ்டம். So that's one of the things I look at. I tell them very clearly, I'm a very demanding partner.
Okay.
I'm very demanding because this is my motivation to demand. My motivation to demand is not to make you work 20x harder and me chill and just you will see me work 30x harder. But I don't want you to take this lightly of essay shows la sell out airom. If the objective for you is to just partner with me for a show and watch me sell tickets because of my name, then there ends the game. I don't want to do that. I'll never work with you again. And I've had many organizers who I'll never go back. I'll find the harder way of finding a local citizen in the tour who doesn't know anything about organizing him, and I've taught them the ropes of it end to end because I trust them and I trust their work ethics and I trust their integrity. I don't care that the lack of know-how can also be easily attended to at my level, at my level of scale. Because I'm a one-piece band. So I'd rather do that than go with the official partner, on-ground partner who I know doesn't care for the product, is only doing it just to churn. There are many. So in the vetting process, romba mukkiyam. So most of the countries, the organizers I have, they go the extra mile. They enjoy going that extra mile. They appreciate that about me as an artist. They like to be pushed, and they understand why we are pushing each other. And they understand the end goal is for that 90 odd minutes, the people who've come paying premium value in their country in whatever the currency is, they should go back feeling wow. It's end to end superb. ஒரு தடவை கூட யோசிக்கவே கூடாது அவன் பணத்துக்கு வர்த்தான். ஏன்னா அப்படி யோசிக்காம நான் அனுப்பினாதான் அடுத்த தடவை நம்ம அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணும்போது யோசிக்காம புக் பண்ணுவான்.
Okay. Do you see any difference in the live performance ecosystems in other countries, Western countries and India?
Massive. So like in any specific things you have, because
like the auditoriums and the tech that is available, the support.
Yeah. So I go to in fact in a week's time I'm off to the Fringe festival in Edinburgh. Now this is something that I do every year. Ever since I started earning and I could afford to fly to UK. The last 7 years. Yeah, I started watching Leeds at the first opportunity once I started earning. And I combined watching Leeds with watching the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. What is the Edinburgh Fringe Festival? It is the most prestigious live performing arts festival that happens in the world for theatre, stand-up, sketch, improv, musicals, etc. alternative stand-up. There are many or sub-genres or ஆயிரம் இருக்கு. But it's all driven towards theatre and comedy and musicals and stuff like that. 77 வருஷமா it's happening in Edinburgh.
Okay.
I got to know it through my AVM days because AVM had one single man play that they took to Edinburgh to perform there 10-12 years ago called Ali J அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒன்று. So anyway, that's how I got to know about Edinburgh and so therefore to answer your question, so now இப்போ கூட I'm going there and it's something I go every year. Why I go? It's for me that's the pinnacle of art, the pinnacle of live performing arts and going and accessing that. Like I attended say Monday to Friday உட்காருவேன்னாங்க ஒரு நாளைக்கு 8 ஷோ பார்ப்பேன் 7 ஷோ பார்ப்பேன் 1 hour each shows.
Okay.
ஃபெட்டிக் ஆயிரும் brain fry ஆயிரும். But I don't care. எனக்கு ஒன்றுமே ஞாபகம் கூட இருக்காது. எனக்கு எப்படின்னா எனக்கு இது அடிக்ஷன். திஸ் இஸ் மை கொகேன், திஸ் இஸ் மை வாட் எவர், எனக்கு இன்ஜெக்ட் திஸ் இன்டு மை வெயின்ஸ்ன்ற மாதிரி ஒரு நாளைக்கு 8 ஷோ 5 நாளில் 40 ஷோ பார்த்துருப்பேன். 35 to 40 ஷோ பிரேக்கே இல்லாமல். எழுந்தேன்னா குளிச்சேன்னா ஸ்ட்ரைட்டாக வென்யூ தான். 12 மணி மத்தியானம் ஆரம்பிச்சா நைட்டு 12 மணி தான் லாஸ்ட் ஷோ. Back to back, I'll plan it, I'll properly research about the performers because you have in that city in the whole month of August, Edinburgh Fringe Festival means the whole month of August you have about thousands of shows happening by thousands of artists who are all given the same venue, the same time slot in that venue.
Okay.
Recordavliya?
No.
So therefore long story short, having been exposed to this sort of a festival that I go there purely to be inspired by how they are pushing the art there. For them, the average bar for stand-up comedy is what I think India will get to 100 years later. Because they're so ahead of the curve. The average bar in general play or in musical or any other form or sub-genres of stand-up comedy, they're so ahead of the curve. Why? Because it's so mainstream there that they have to innovate. They have to reinvent themselves.
In what way do you are they like you mean
like for example inniki a love story will still run in Chennai today. A basic love story won't run in Malayalam. For example, love subject. You have to do something else. Like a basic gangster some won't work, but Avesham worked. They see that reinvention. Basically where craft is pushed, right? And craft is pushed and the pushing of that craft is very, how do I explain it? It's growth is there not just in one vertical, in multiple verticals the growth irukra or rounded growth irukra ecosystems. What I feel is the ecosystem will also be growing along with you. It's not just be one or two verticals alone. Like in Tamil cinema I feel craft is pushed only in one or two verticals. Like say the mass heroes oda padangalla mattum you see that level of craft being pushed, but in other idhila you don't. So there's not a rounded growth. So in Edinburgh for example, rounded growth is there in all the crafts, like a random English play to a musical to a sketch comedy. What is a sketch comedy? It's just 60 minutes of 5 minute sketches. Like Monty Python sketches and the mari pandrathu. They've grown up having Monty Python on radio and television all their life. So when they perform it, obviously they have already done the A to Z of the basics of it. So இப்போ யாரா basic அங்க Edinburghல பண்ண வந்தா he wouldn't even make the cut. So the audience are so evolved. So ecosystem is evolved. Therefore it enables everyone to push. Which is nice. I mean that doesn't mean if you give something basic they will eat you out alive and throw you out in the dumps. But you will have your space there. But those who are pushing will also have their space there. And all of you will find a nice space in this ecosystem, which I feel is an ideal place to be in. So in therefore the question you asked me is about how
is it different?
How is it different now? When the ecosystem itself is evolved like this, that means the ecosystem opens itself to all sorts of infrastructure wise support and logistics wise support and generally create that whole experience for the average fan coming to watch that show there itself is heightened in many ways, where they cherish art as a integral part of their culture. So I feel those are all things. Even if it's a 40-seater, there is a story to that 40-seater there. It has one small pub that has only one type of lager that they, for example, they're giving there, and it has that one guy who's been working in that pub who also opens the door, who also manages the stage, who also cleans the green robe. And that 40-seater is where, say, the Ed Sheerans have performed, the Seinfelds have performed. You have stuff like that. My point being, in that 40-seater, they'll go that extra mile to have a projector and a screen, for example, because they identify that it's common that today's times people are using multimedia for in some way. So this continues adapting while keeping the rest of the place old school, while also evolving in whatever ways. I feel when an ecosystem in all these infrastructure and all the other things I mentioned, if it can start leveling up and ups, going one level higher every time, it makes the end user, who's the consumer, generally feel a lot better about consuming art and being patrons of art, as opposed to right now being patrons of art here. In India, I feel the difference is you're not really patron of the art as much as you're a patron of that artist.
Yeah, celebrity culture.
Yeah, therefore you're willing to put up with all the nonsense that you experience in the logistical situation, from you booking the ticket to you consuming that product live, only because you feel that as that person or that artist who you admire, or you love him so much, him or her, or you love that whatever about them. Adhikaga you're willing to. And my point is, you shouldn't be willing to do all that.
Yeah,
and that artist is as much responsible for working on this experience and the ecosystem part as much as the patrons are too. But unfortunately, that's where I don't know how to go about changing. But that's the biggest difference I feel. Outside, like for example, all my favorite Indian musicians, whoever I grew up admiring to date, I will never ever. I made a vow to myself ever since I started doing live tours and I started seeing the world for how their life experiences and how India's life experiences is. I told myself I never watch an Indian musician in India ever. வேற வழி இல்லைன்னா கேபர் நான் இங்கே தான் பார்த்தாகணும் பார்ப்பேன். Of course, I will support my go-to people who I have to support. But I'm just saying, for Ilayaraja, I will fly and go to Wembley and watch him. It was outstanding. I saw Pradeep Kumar with the symphony orchestra. I went with the band and saw them in Malaysia in a stadium. Outstanding. You think I can get that in YMCA Saidapet here? No chance. Just the end-to-end experience itself is outstanding. So Anirudh, I went and saw him in Singapore. So I feel where the ecosystem is better, the product and the artist, their performance itself is way better. And we are so far behind, and I don't think in my lifetime or our lifetime we'll live to see the change. And I'm generally very cynical, so please do take my opinion with a pinch of salt.
You can see it even like in the biggest money-making body in India, like cricket stadiums.
Exactly.
Like the fan experiences.
It's pathetic. Yeah, correct. That's why do you
go to a place like Sri Lanka and it's like
so much like. அதான் என்ன கேட்குறாங்களே, ஏன்டா நீ லீட்ஸ் 25 வருஷமா லீட்ஸை போய் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுறேன்னு. பிகாஸ் சப்போர்ட்டிங் லீட்ஸ் இஸ் ஃபார் மோர் ரிவார்டிங் ஃபார் மீ தென் சப்போர்ட்டிங் சே the Indian cricket team here in India going and traveling, or even Chennai Super.
Going and watching a match in the stadium is like
it's horrible. So yeah, they don't care about that. They just don't care. When you don't care about that and you're exploiting and preying on this vulnerable part of the masses, it's an unfortunate situation.
So let's talk about money. Now, especially when you didn't have much and you were entering this tricky profession where not many people make it and make a living. So how did you navigate that situation in your early days? And what advice would you give to aspiring young people how to navigate the financial aspect of it?
Yeah, so, wow. I have to answer this question in a very diplomatic way, because normally the true answer to this is giving up a lot of exploitative methods that are prevalent in this ecosystem that I had to kind of call out and fight against. But we shall not get into that much. If I have to diplomatically address that, then I'll probably say you have to first say that here's the thing. I'll speak for myself, because sometimes I struggle telling நீங்க என்ன பண்ணணும்னு சொல்றதை விட நான் என்ன பண்ணேன்றதை ஏதாவது சொல்ல பார்த்துறேன். அதுலேருந்து ஏதாவது சென்ஸ் வந்துச்சுன்னா ஓகே. So I was always interested in the entrepreneurial part of this. That is the money part. The entrepreneurial part is the economic part. You can't just be like moneyல எனக்கு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்கு. Can't just be the case of எனக்கு எவ்வளோ கிடைக்குது. மணியில் உனக்கு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்குன்னா your interest should not be about எனக்கு என்ன கிடைக்குது. Your interest should be about how does this function?
Okay.
What is that? என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க? Supply chain. What is the whole supply chain like? Why does this function? How does this function? Understand the whole ecosystem. Then உனக்கு என்ன கிடைக்குதுன்றது you start micro-analyzing. You will approach it with far better clarity, and then based on your needs or your personality, you can take calls on how you approach strategy wise on your relationship with money. For example, are you willing to give up more share of the money in return of less fucks to give? okay, for a lack of a better word, logistically and all the other things. Are you that type of a person? Or are you willing to take on more fucks on your plate to get a bigger share of the money?
Yeah.
So for that you need to understand the end-to-end supply chain angle of the business than just understand the money, and that is what I did. I felt from the time I got into it and was barely making anything for the first so many years.
You were always very clear about not giving any fucks from the beginning.
No. I was the opposite. If anything, in the last 1 hour of us having this conversation, you should know by now that I am anything but not giving a fuck. I am all about giving a fuck about unnecessary things too. So I was always too fussed about everything, including money. So therefore, when I... ஸோ அதான் சொன்னேன், 2 விதமாக தான் இருக்க முடியும். ஒன்று, கவலையே இல்லை, நான் கவலைப்பட போகிறது, என்ன கொடுத்தாலும் எடுத்துக்க போகிறேன், ஏன்னா ஐ வில் டூ வாட் எவர் ஐ வாண்ட்ல, ஏன்னா இந்த நான் எனக்கு கொடுத்தாலும் எடுத்துக்கிறேன், இன் ரிட்டர்ன் நீ இந்த ஏபிசி பிளைண்டாக பண்ணும்.
ஓகே,
பண்ணாட்டி நான் ஏற கூட மாட்டேன். ஆர் வாட் எவர் ஐ டோன்ட் இல்லாட்டி நான் கவலை கூட பண்ண மாட்டேன். எனக்கு காசு வந்துருச்சு, எனக்கு டேட்டை மட்டும் சொல்லுங்கள், அன்றைக்கி நான் போய் பர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுறேன். அப்படி ஒரு அப்ரோச் இருக்குது. இல்லை என்ன மாதிரி, இல்லை எனக்கு பிளைண்டெல்லாம் காசு கொடுக்காதீங்க, நம்ம 2 பேர் சேர்ந்து பண்ணலாம் வாங்க, என் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ்ஸையும் நீங்கள் என் கூட மேனேஜ் பண்ணுங்க, உங்கள் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் ப்ராஜெக்டோட என்னெல்லாம் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் இருக்குது சொல்லுங்கள், எல்லாத்தையும் சேர்ந்து மண்டையை போட்டு உடைப்போம். ஆனால் அதுக்கு இதுதான் நியாயமான ஸ்பிளிட்டு, அதுக்கு இதுதான் நியாயமான கமர்ஷியல் அரேஞ்ச்மெண்ட். திஸ் டேக்ஸ் அ சர்டன் லெவல் ஆஃப் what do you say, not everyone likes to approach it like this.
Okay.
It makes them uncomfortable with money.
Okay.
It doesn't make me uncomfortable because I enjoy this. For me, it comes down to the concept of fairness.
Okay.
And I grew up in that ecosystem where I was questioning the unfairness of it in the early years. So my advice would be, it comes down to your personality. I had a very, very volatile relationship with money growing up. Very volatile. Growing up, when it comes to home, it was always the stick with which I was beaten up the most, and therefore I was very fragile about it and very insecure about it. And therefore that led to me wanting I was very possessive and protective of it. Therefore I would ask 100 questions around 1 rupee. When others would be like, இந்த 1 ரூபாய்க்கு ஏன்டா இவ்வளோ கேள்வி? But I'll ask. I'll ask. That led to me understanding the ecosystem and the business of this ecosystem very well. Which led to me questioning the fallacies of the arrangements then. Of the commercial arrangements. And then which led to me figuring out what does the actual ecosystem out there do, because people here are doing something else. Then when I found out the industry standard, that led to me coming back and applying that here, which led to new opportunities growing because new resources aligned with you, because they were like, yeah, this is fair to us. So this continuous alignment and reshaping and this thing was recalibration was continuously happening around you, which was purely driven by my academic nature on understanding how does this business work and what is fair for this business to work. I am not saying I want an arrangement which is so exploitative that it favors only me. I am trying to come up with an arrangement that favors everyone in a way where it also makes my non-negotiables intact, which is artist is the main guy. And art takes precedence, and the experience of that art takes precedence over all the other things. Which means if a partner of mine comes and says, let's choose this venue, the profitability is way more, whereas in another venue the profitability is slightly less, but some other intangibles of that are much better in terms of, say, the seating or the access of location, ease of location, or say the tech support, I will step in there and say no. So I'm just trying to say, as much as I'm so micromanaging the commercial aspect of it, it is not just to increase my profitability. It is to take the right calls at all points of time based on my value systems of working. So,
brilliant. You've talked in the past about mental health challenges. You even spoke about it today. So how does performance, mental and physical health challenges, how do they impact your performance, and how does your performance impact your health in positive or negative ways? And what do you do to?
How does it affect me, positive or negative way? Okay. Health-wise, physical health-wise, performance, well, it makes you tired the next day. That night and the next day, I'm dead. I'm so dead because it's like a downer. It's like after all that high of the drug, you are like, after that you are like, ஐயோ நேற்றுக்கு தானடா 1200 பேர் என் பேரை அப்படி சேர் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாங்க, இன்னைக்கு வாழ்க்கை எவ்வளோ கேவலமாக இருக்கு. So that happens. I guess a bit of that is physical and mental, which is where working out helps. So அந்த மாதிரி நேரத்தில் I quickly take, if I'm touring, I take a walk in the sun and go quick run and a walk maybe, or do some workouts just to send the right hormones across to help you with the downer. Actually, from a mental health point of view, performing has only done me good. 80% of the times I come out feeling outstanding. I come out feeling wow. Like it's like இவ்வளோ ஹாப்பியாக என்னால் ஃபீல் பண்ண முடியுமா? மிச்ச நேரத்தில் ஏன்டா இவ்வளோ டென்ஸ்டாக இவ்வளோ ஆங்ஷியஸாக இருக்கேன். I wish I can be like this, how I feel on stage. It's such a soul-satisfying process when you create something and you're delivering it there in a leap of faith, and then at somewhere in that audience moment, audience are connecting with you, and you feel that connect, and they feel it too, and then it goes higher and higher. It's like wow, we met at a level that I can't explain, right? That mentally does wonders to you, I feel. It does wonders to you. That is 70 to 80% of times. There have been times where it has mentally affected me. Those are times where I feel how ஏன் affect பண்ணிச்சுன்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா, sometimes the subject of what you're dealing with affects. Like for example, when I did We Need to Talk, I was brutally affected by it a lot in the early shows because I was not comfortable yet about coming out clean to the world about who I am and how I think about things and why I think like this and what I think of myself, and my own internal judgments and shame I felt about myself. I started feeling it when I was performing it. So mentally I was not feeling well at all, and the only thing that could mask it was the laughs. But the laughs weren't that high for that show initially because I was not really comfortable with the material myself, and people were feeling the nervous energy. So it was either you fake it and you make them make it, or if you don't fake it, you feel the nervousness with them. So adala I felt a lot of low. I'll come back the next 2 days. I've gone on lulls where I've just felt like, should I stop this show, move to something else, or should I stop permanently? Adala kuda aayirukku, but that's more down to the subject I chose because it was a lot to bear with a stranger, right? So but even there it's a beautiful growth pangs. It took me about 20-30 shows to get over it. I changed some structure, writing, like I rewrote it in a different way, changed some pieces in the structure, and created a different narrative arc, and then delivered it with a new renowned sense of vigor. Completely day and night difference how they receive the show, and then therefore my perception of the show, and therefore my mental feeling while performing it and post performing, no longer feeling that all the bad things I felt about. So it's a very some academic learning எனக்கு அதில் இருந்துச்சு. I didn't think I can hate my own baby like that, which I did ended up. But then I also grew with it and fell in love with it so much through the love others felt for it. So it is a very symbiotic relationship. You can fuck you or do you good. In most cases it has done me good. Some cases it has fucked me too.
Brilliant. Last few questions. Do you have like any relationship with external stimulants before going on stage? Alcohol, drugs?
Nothing. So I'm super duper nervous in anything I do, and I'm super duper old school in that sense where anything that comes in the way of my preparation, as you saw the amount of intensity with which I prepare, this intensity I won't have if I'm having any stimulants, because the only reason I take stimulants is to de-intensify myself.
So after a show
After a show, absolutely. 100%. Because எனக்கு வைண்ட் டவுன் அது இல்லாட்டி ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். ஏன்னா நைட் எல்லாம் ஷோ முடிச்சுட்டு சீலிங் ஃபேனை பார்த்து அந்த ஷோ நீ நினச்சிட்டு இருப்பேன்.
Pooja is always curious as to how you guys wind down after the show. So you could
after the show I'm always obsessing with something to calm my nerves, and invariably when you're touring it's easily available. I'm not a drinker, so the green stuff helps me a lot. So that's pretty much how I wind down, but that's also just like right after the show and I'm done. Like the next morning and everything, and I'm listening to the audio again and obsessing over it, which work mode. That's it. When I'm work mode, I treat work very, very seriously. But I ask them to keep it ready for me right when I'm done. Because when I'm done, I'm like, even if I have to do a meet and greet, there have been so many times where I have to do a meet and greet where இப்போ ஒரு 2 hours show perform பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. Then imagine having the social energy to come and stand for another 1.5-2 hours and do small talk with people and take photos. I'm someone who will do it for them, but I also need something for myself. So I ask them for 2 things. One, some smoothie or some something to give me the spike of energy before dinner, right? Because it's correctly before dinner, perform பண்ணனும் பசி வரும் ஒரு மாதிரி டயர்டா இருக்கும். So something to give me a spike. The other is to smoothen the edges, the stimulant. இவனையால ரோல் பண்ணி கொண்டு வாடா மச்சான். So literally we take a 5-minute break outside, run out after the show. People will be lining up and everything. அந்த டைம்ல போயிட்டு டப்புன்னு குடிக்க வேண்டியதை குடி, சாப்பிட வேண்டியதை சாப்பிட்டு, அடிக்க வேண்டியதை முடிச்சுட்டு ஓகேடா ஸ்ப்ரேலாம் அடிச்சுக்கிட்டு உள்ள வந்து இவங்களோட ஃபோட்டோ எடுக்கணும். அப்போ நான் இடிச்சுக்கிட்டு ஓகே தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் கமிங், தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் கமிங். யூ ஹேவ் டு டூ இட் பிகாஸ் ஐ மீன் இட் மீன்ஸ் த வேர்ல்ட் டு தெம், பட் தே டோன்ட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் சம்டைம்ஸ் ஹவு ஹார்ட் இட் இஸ். Not everyone does it. Right? Many artists are like, I've done my job, I leave. என்னால் அப்படி இருக்க முடிஞ்சதில்லை. I'm a people pleaser in that sense. So I do this hack of ஒரு 5-10 minutes somewhere, run and come back. And that takes me for 1 more hour.
Okay, brilliant. Yours is primarily like an individual sport on stage. Like, does it like get lonely on stage sometimes? Like we all have a bandmate to look at or
on stage? Does it get lonely?
Like, do you feel like suddenly like taniya irukome?
Very, 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 very rarely. Why? 2 reasons. One, see, I only perform to people who already know of me. So that's a very biased situation. People are coming there already with a positive disposition towards me. I have not performed to people who don't know me. By that I mean, I'm not a musician who can just take that guitar and say if he has his independent album. Keber can today do it in Chennai, Bangalore for his fans. What if tomorrow he goes to London or New York or somewhere and does it? That's going to be a different thing. But with music, you can do your thing whether they like or not. ஒரு லெவலுக்கு அது இங்கே நான் வந்துட்டு நீ சிரிக்கிறையோ இல்லையோ நான் இப்போ சொல்லிட்டு போகிறேன்னா சொல்ல முடியும். நீ சிரிக்கலன்னா நான் கிளம்பிடுவேன். ஸோ என்ன சொல்ல வர்றதுனால the loneliness I felt in I don't ever feel because most of the times I only perform in, I only perform solo shows. I don't make myself available in any other form.
Okay.
So solo shows that are coming through my marketing channels, people who know me only will come. So they like, there is a sense of bias.
Okay.
But there have been places where I have gone to new markets that I have never done before. So there isn't necessarily, some people there know me, some people there don't. And they come with a nervous trepidation of, who is this guy? And the organizer there I'm not familiar with also. So everything is new for me. That it's a new, like Zurich la panna indha varusham. Europe la na adukku munadi pannirken. Zurich was a new thing. Some Sri Lankan Tamil guy said there's a community here. I do stuff, come. Everything about that show was lonely for me. Why? The venue he chose was so unconventional and not it was like a banquet hall with horrible acoustics and people were more interested in the live food counter outside and the DJ that is the setup. And appadan punjiruchu, he was not looking to make the show work. He was just looking to book me as an artist to sell his event, his all the other ancillary things that he had done on the parota, kottu parota stall, the beer, the DJ, some all those things. There I felt lonely. Why? I realized I made a mistake. I didn't vet this partner well enough. I should have vetted him. But I was like, Zurich, I've never done it in my life. நான் ஜூரிக் சுற்றி கூட பார்க்கல. நீங்கள் மார்னிங் வந்து அடுத்த நாள் மார்னிங் கிளம்பிட்டேன். வேஸ்ட்டு. ஜூரிக்கையும் பார்க்கல, ஷோவும் நல்லா போகலை. ஸ்டேஜில் இருந்து பண்ணும்போது இட்ஸ் நாட் நெசசரி an audience who would like me. Right? They were just like, okay, and the place was not inspiring me to make my comedy work for them. Because normally if a place is great and the audience are not with you, I will sometimes get off script and be like, okay, let's go. வா பார்த்துடலாம், let's see where this goes. ஏன்னா பிளேஸ் செம்மையாக இருக்குது, எனக்கு அந்த ஒரு கம்ஃபர்ட் இருக்குது, everything about this அப்படின்னு அப்போ பண்ண முடியும். When the place is not there and the organizers, you realize, oh, they scammed me. அப்படின்னா midway through the show I realized, shit, it's a scam. And startingly actually I realized because எனக்கு முன்னாடி they had opening acts of some random women in that community come and sing கண்ணோடு காண்ட. யாரா நீங்க, இதென்ன டேலண்ட் ஷோ என்னோட காமெடி. that's when I realized, man, செஞ்சிருக்கானுங்கடா என்ன, ஜூரிக்ல பார்த்து விழுந்துட்டேனேடா. So yeah, that was when I felt lonely. But otherwise it's not the performing on stage that feels lonely, because performing on stage is where I am so enjoying. ஓகே, இப்போ ஒரு ஹை பாயிண்ட் வர போகிறது, இன்னும் 10 செகண்ட்ஸில் ஒன்று வர போகிறது, இன்னும் 30ல் ஒன்று வர போகிறது. பர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணும்போது எனக்கு தெரியும், ஐயோ அந்த மொமெண்ட்டுக்கு எப்படி பண்ண போகிறாங்க, ஐயோ இதுக்கே எப்படி ரியாக்ட் பண்ணுறாங்களோ அதுக்கு எங்கே இருப்பாங்க, அப்படி பர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணும்போது எனக்கு எக்ஸைட்டட் அபவுட் வாட்ஸ் கமிங் அஹெட். ஸோ ஐ வில் நெவர் ஃபீல் லோன்லி அபவுட் தட். வேர் இட் ஃபீல்ஸ் லோன்லி இஸ் when you go back to the room afterwards.
Okay.
I'm single, so therefore like you don't have anyone to go share what happened, right? Like you're like, இவ்வளோ வருஷம் all this hustling you're doing, and it's not like my parents are very cued into this, they have no idea. So யார்கிட்ட போய் பேசுறது, ஐயோ like last night. So I have few friends of mine who who are like looking out for me always. So அவங்க கிட்ட I keep updating. இன்னைக்கு செம்மையாச்சு, இன்னைக்கு இப்படி போச்சு, இப்படி ஆச்சுன்னு. ஸோ அவங்களும் பாவம் ஒரு தரையும் கேர் பண்ணுற மாதிரியாவது காட்டிப்பாங்க. ஆனால் நான் யோசிப்பேன், டேய் அவனுக்கு நீ ராத்திரி 10 மணிக்கு அவன் ரூமுக்கு போயிட்டு மெசேஜ் பண்ணுற ஜூரிக்லேருந்து, அவனுக்கு அங்கே இப்போ 4 மணி காலையில் எழுந்திரிச்சு சரி இவனுக்கு ரிப்ளை பண்ணாட்டி இவன் ஓவர் திங்க் பண்ணுவான்னு சொல்லிட்டு ரிப்ளை பண்ணுவாங்க. ஓகே வெல் டன் பேபி, ஆல் தி பெஸ்ட் டு யூ சொல்லி, சரி அட்லீஸ்ட் அவ்வளோ சொன்னீங்களே தேங்க்ஸ்ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு வந்தேன். So that's the lonely part. I mean, touring is the lonely part, not the performing.
Okay. One final question.
Yes.
What do you think is the importance of live performing and live performing arts in going into the future of uncertainty with AI and fully a digitized world, digital world?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I can't tell you with anything certainty because this is a topic that has come up in so many parties and small talks, and I'm being very, very old school with this. Like I'm being very rigid and I'm being very black and white when I realize I shouldn't be that black and white with respect to AI. So I'm still at a formative stage making my impressions around it, but if anything, what I already said before comes back into the play now, which is that art and artists have to be valued na மாதிரி விஷயங்கள் வரதுனால அந்த வேல்யூ இன்னும் ஜாஸ்தி தான் ஆக போகுதுன்னு நான் நம்புறேன். Because when I see the kind of things that people are using on AI to fake it, like I see scripts being written there, I see alternative punchlines being written there. Anirudh recently on his interview said he had 4 lines for a song that he wrote and he needed 2 lines more. He asked, hey, what is the line that can go with this? Yeah. Which work ChatGPT கேட்டனா வந்துச்சுன்னா, which is like in some cases sure. Yeah. But primarily, the bigger picture, what does it do? So எனக்கு அங்கே ஒரு ஃபியர் இருக்கு, and therefore I wish this movement makes people gravitate towards art and artists way more and suddenly be like running back to your ex and telling them how much you love them and it was a mistake. நான் பெரிய தப்பு பண்ணிட்டேன் வாழ்க்கையில் எடுத்துக்கோ, I will come back and I will father this child properly now. அந்த மாதிரி it's one of those. I hope that happens with art and artists.
Brilliant. On that note, SA, thank you so much for opening your heart out.
Thanks, it was super fun. I'm glad you did this. Thanks for having me. And thanks for the ginger tea, lime tea.
Thank you very much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed the show. You can also follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Stage Matters Podcast.